And welcome to Hero Power, where you are once again joined by 2 out of 3 hosts. And we are here to regale you with tales of the Lich King and glories to come with our sweet southern drawl. Glad you could join us tonight. I am, of course, joined by my co host, Zerotio.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
And Avanti's. Oh, wait, no, that's not Avanti's. That's the Lich King.
This man is much prettier than Avanti's.
It's those long flowing locks.
That's it. That's right there.
I don't think Avantis could grow hair that long if he tried.
No, 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 never.
Have you seen the curl on top of his head?
The one curl, yeah, it's great. He's got the whole Charlie Brown thing going.
Once again, I am your host, Virsica. This is my last week in the driver's seat, as Avantis will be rejoining us again next week to take over his role as the tech god that he is. And I have to say, I am very glad that he is going to be taking this from me because it is much more complicated than when we started. So I am happy that he and his XSplit will be back. Um, so that being said, before we get really into things tonight, and we have a lot of stuff to go over, Zerotio, tell us a little bit about our friends at Viforce.
Okay, so if you are new to the show, and I know we have quite a few new listeners, our show is sponsored by ViforceGaming.com. They make custom gaming computers pretty much at bargain values. If you go and price the specifications that you find at ViforceGaming.com and go over to other big box stores or even other custom online stores, the price is going to be astronomically higher, and you're going to get just grade A customer service for really no extra cost at all. Like it's custom gaming computers made for gamers by gamers. You should definitely go get your quote today. They have 6 months, same as cash, 0% financing that they will offer to you if you don't have the money to buy it today. They will finance you for 6 months. Again, ViforceGaming.com, or go to HeroPowerHS.com and click on the Viforce link. It'll take you right there.
And value was the operative word there. They are great value.
Oh
And
yeah.
also, something that I don't feel like we talk about enough is our website is actually a great source of information for both Hearthstone, place to find our shows if you don't use a podcast app on your phone or on your desktop. And you can also find all of our Twitter handles and where to reach us if you have questions, way to email the show, all that good stuff can be found at HeroPowerHS.com. All right, with that being said, we
Speaking
actually
of,
we
we got
actually
an
have
email.
email and we have an iTunes review tonight. So let's start
We
with the
sure do.
email. Do you want to go ahead and take us through the email?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
The email comes from Doug. He says, "Innkeeper Doug here. I started a community for my fireside gatherings in Michigan," and he gives the link to his Facebook group. And one thing that our website offers, and the reason he sent this to us, is we have a section for Hearthstone community. If you go to HeroPowerHS.com and click on the Hearthstone community tab at the top, it'll take you to a list of states and regions and other countries that have various Hearthstone communities, Facebook groups primarily, or websites dedicated to their various Hearthstone communities. Avantis is on vacation right now. Vacation. He's getting his house all set up. As soon as he gets back, he'll put this up on our community page for you, Doug. And if you are in the Michigan area and you're looking for a fireside gathering group in that area, definitely hit up our communities page. We have a couple Michigan area Facebook groups, as well as this one that will be added shortly.
Awesome. And actually, Avanti says he's doing it now as he speaks, as we
Awesome.
speak. So yeah, so he is joining the show tonight. He just wasn't able to be with us. That's part of it. He's got to get his rig set up the way he wants it, and we'll be happy to have him back next week. We also have an iTunes review, and it's a 5-star review by wow.ben. And it's great opinions and thoughts from 3 Southern boys. That seems to be a trend, huh?
Yeah,
That's all right. I'm proud I'm a Southern boy. So let's see. It says, "Well met. I'm a new listener to Hero Power since March of 2017. It's become one of my favorite podcasts. Others have faded away, and Hero Power has climbed up my ranks and is a must listen. The guys bring varying opinions to the game to give you a well-rounded health of the game. I hope to meet the rest of the Hero Power crew in the future, toast a shot of Jack, and talk about life. That is how I imagine these guys are in real life, and you are not wrong. You are not
That's
wrong.
right.
If you haven't, you should give them a listen. And as always, don't forget to use your hero power at Ben Reddington. And actually, we talk a lot to Ben online, and he's also the entrepreneur of what is becoming one of our favorite line of apparel,
Dadlegend.com.
dadlegend.com. And
That's right.
yeah, I also working on a Bone Storm shirt for me, so I'm excited to.
Yeah,
Excited to get that.
I was gonna wear my Dad Legend shirt when I saw this iTunes review, but it's in the wash because I wear it all the time. So
There
I'm
you go.
constantly having to wash it. So I was not able to wear it tonight like I wanted to.
There you
Uh,
go.
After seeing this review, I was like, oh, it's dirty.
So really, the reason that we start the show with emails and iTunes reviews is iTunes reviews is one of the ways that you can really help the show.
Hmm.
Through our iTunes review, that allows us to get a proper ranking in iTunes because iTunes ranks us by number of 5-star reviews you have.
Hmm.
So the more reviews that we can get, the more accurate our numbers are as far as like how many people are listening. Are you guys liking it? Is there something we can do better? The iTunes review is a great opportunity for you to write in and tell us, hey, you're doing a great job, or hey, we'd love to see this incorporated, or maybe you should shut that Virsica guy up every now and again, or something like that. Another way that you can support us is you can actually become a patron of the show. And if you want more information on that, you can go to patreon.com/hero power. And
Yeah, we have a great Patreon group. All of our patrons automatically get access at the lowest level to our patron only Discord. Now we limit that not because we're greedy and we want the money. That's not what's important to us. We limit it because we want to make sure the people that are in our patron group, our patron Discord, want to be there, and they're not there just to troll or harass people just because they have a free Discord they can get into, or they get into it just so they can have other people that aren't part of our community don't play Hearthstone in there just messing around and kind of lessening the community. And because of that, we get some great quality discussion in our Discord. I can't count a day. I don't know a single day since we started our patron Discord that our Discord wasn't constantly scrolling through the day.
Yep.
We have very active members. Anytime there's any kind of news, I'm part of 18 different Discords. Anytime there's any kind of news, ours is always the first one that posts it on the Discord. Anytime there's card reveals, so far out of all of the Discords I'm in, ours is the only one that posts every single image for every single reveal. All the other ones will just do a few here or there if somebody is available to post them to their Discord. So we have a great community, and we'd love you to be part of it.
Yeah, my work is very physically and mentally taxing. I actually don't get to get on the computer during the day, and I'm not allowed to have my phone on the floor with me when I'm at work. So by the time I get off of work, which is around 3:30, 4 o'clock, um, from when I last checked the Discord in the morning, which is approximately 6:30, to when I get off, usually I have 50 to 60 new messages since the last time I looked, and that's pretty active. And that's on a slow day. I mean, there are days where I get on there and I'm just like, there's no way. I could spend all night and I'm not going to follow this conversation before. Because it just keeps scrolling. It's like for every one I read, there's 3 more that pop in. And it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? All right. So, moving on. Hey, that's not bad. 10 minutes for the intro and the first part. Maybe I'm getting the hang of this.
Kicking
All right.
right along.
So let's go ahead and jump into our news and discussion because we have quite a bit of it tonight.
Yes.
So as we talked about in the previous show, we're going to do a full set review for our patrons, and we'll get that going once the set releases. And I don't know, what, give it a week or so to kind of see where everything falls.
Yeah, I think that's
Um,
a good idea.
but we are going to talk about some of the cards tonight, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But we do want to bring up that the last live stream, Knights of the Frozen Throne card reveals, tell us a little bit about that last dump of cards and a little bit of the demo gameplay.
Yeah, so this past Monday, Ben Brode and Brian Kibler, it's a new pair, did a live gameplay and card reveal, and they played 4 different games. And we've seen this before with Ben Brode and Frodan, which we playfully called them Brodan because they have such good chemistry. Uh, but Brian Kibler brings a totally different aspect. He seemed to want to prolong the games to see as many cards as possible, but still found a way to win. His gameplay, he used those cards to a T. You kind of saw an optimal performance with those new Knights of the Frozen Throne cards, and basically they just kind of revealed the remainder of the cards minus about a dozen filler cards that weren't really too impactful in the meta. They revealed those cards through gameplay, and then if for some reason the card didn't show up, they would show it at the end. One funny situation was there were 6 cards left. They were playing Shaman, and Brian Kibler was desperately trying to get to the hero cards of each class, and Ben Brode says, "Oh, you only have 6 cards in your deck. You're gonna burn the hero card." "Oh, don't worry, we won't burn the hero card. You're gonna burn the hero card." And sure enough, he burned the hero card. So that was really fun. I love seeing the interaction, just kind of the conversations going back and forth. I think I actually like the combination of Brian Kibler and Ben Brode better than Frodan, and a lot of that says a lot because I am like a Frodan fanboy. I love Frodan and his hair. I think he adds a lot to casting and commentating the game, but Brian Kibler just really piloted the deck in a way that you would expect to see it piloted by a professional player.
There you go. All right, you heard it from Zerotio first. Brian Kibler to replace Frodan on the set reveals. Now, I did watch part of that on one of my lunch breaks, and I was really surprised that. No, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because Brian Kibler does a really good stream, but kind of from that very limited, I separated environment. I was worried that maybe some of his personality wouldn't translate over as well as it does when he's playing the ladder on stream. So I was a little bit of, Frodan seems to be that bridge that kind of makes something out of nothing, and Brian Kibler, I feel like he needs a little more interaction to be at his best, but he did a really, really, really good job. Okay, so speaking of the new set, the patch released for it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming by this point, if you're listening to this podcast, or if you're watching us live tonight, I'm assuming that you have already downloaded said patch, and that you are anxiously awaiting the cards like we are. So, with that being said, some of the changes are already live.
Yes.
The set's not here yet, but some of the changes are already live, and we're going to start with the changes to Dreadsteed. Did you have a Dreadsteed left?
Yes, I did.
Did you disenchant it for full dust?
No.
No.
I tend to not to. I know everybody says, "Oh, disenchant it," because you can always make it again if you need it. Mm-hmm. If I was desperate for the dust, then I might. But I really like Dreadsteed, and I do have aspirations of eventually getting into Wild, where Dreadsteed actually performs really well in Wild. So I kept it just because I plan to eventually use it. I don't think the nerf is going to kill it. I think there are a couple combos that'll go away because of Dreadsteed, but the actual flavor and the idea of Dreadsteed still is impactful because they changed it to summon a Dreadsteed at the end of turn as a death rattle. Now, it doesn't say at the end of turn, summon this card. It says at the end of turn, summon a Dreadsteed. So with N'Zoth, you would still get 2, 3, 4 different dread
Right.
steeds because they are separate dread steeds.
Right. They
That's
found a way
something
to
very
make that work.
Yes, that's something
Yeah.
very important to note. It's not this card, which in the case of a lot of death battles, is if it says this card, it'll only come back the one time because it's the same card.
Right.
I'm glad they kept that flavor, but not having a bunch of dread steeds in one turn, that I don't think that's going to hurt it as much as people think.
Okay. Cool deal. Next, I guess they had to change some text wording around and a little bit of functionality for some of the cards in the new set. So they had to take some of the cards that were existing and they had to kind of change the way that they worked.
Hmm.
And even then, I'm not sure that it's necessarily did it change the way that worked or they refined the way it worked.
Well, they changed the wording of a lot of the cards, and they also changed away some of the functionality for some of the new cards that are coming in.
Right.
The most specific one that was brought up on Twitter by Disguised Toast, of course, was Fandral. Fandral, all they really did in the wording is add hero power onto it.
Right.
But they also added a functionality which Disguised Toast found, and it was suspected it was a bug, but it was confirmed by Ben Brode today that it was intended and it should have been in the patch notes, and they failed to put it there.
Gotcha.
And he apologized. But what's happening now is Fandral actually when you get both choose one effects, they act separately. So in the case of Wrath, you will, instead of doing 4 damage and drawing a card, you'll do 3 damage, then you'll do 1 damage and draw a card.
Right. So this is important because animation timers. The other reason that this is important is why?
Divine Shield.
Right.
Because if you hit a Divine Shield minion with this, with Fandral's out, the 3 damage will pop the Divine Shield, and then the 1 damage will hit the minion.
Exactly.
Also, spell damage will apply to both. So instead of getting 5 damage, you will get 3 plus 1, which is 4, then 1 plus 1, which is 2. So you'll get a total of 6 damage.
So anyone still using the Ardent Crusader is pretty much the Ardent Crusader or Commander.
Argent Commander is the
Commander.
4/2 with charge, Divine Shield.
All right. So one other thing, how is this going to interact with, like, let's say, Druid of the Claw? Which form is it going to come into play with first? And the reason that I'm asking this is its interaction with Snipe. Is it going to come in as the cat, trigger Snipe, and then not?
No,
be
a
able
lot
to
a
resolve
lot of
because
the
bear?
interactions a lot of the interactions are less important because they're not too impactful.
Okay.
So basically what's going to happen is it's going to come into play with it really varies on the card because they originally said it was going to be from top to bottom or left to right, first and second.
Right.
But in some cases it's not. So you're probably going to have to actually test some of this out. How I assume it would happen with Druid of the Claw is that it will come into play as a 4/4 with charge. Then it will get +2 health and taunt, and then it'll actually
Trigger the Snipe.
trigger anything that would. It's still 1 minion.
Okay.
It's not 2 minions, if that makes sense.
Right. No, it absolutely does. I just wanted to make sure that we spelled out the difference.
Yeah, and again, a lot of this has to be tested out. We haven't had a chance to test it out because this just went live yesterday. So I haven't played a lot with any of the changes for the patch because I'm expecting to play a lot tomorrow when the new set comes out.
Right. Okay, so they also fix various other bugs. You can check the patch notes. They actually have it as you log into the launcher today. I know it's there. So click on that, read through them. You'd be surprised how many people don't actually read the patch notes and miss out on a lot of information. I know it's super important in Heroes of the Storm, and I tend to not do it as often in Hearthstone. Now, I used to actually read through them with a fine-tooth comb early. Now I just kind of glance over them. But with this one, I actually picked through it because I do feel like there's going to be some important dynamics that have changed.
Yeah, and there's a few different things, mechanics that changed.
Yeah.
And again, we'll have the link to the patch in the show notes.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's definitely worth going over because there are a couple weird things like they changed your hero will no longer if you change your hero will no longer refresh your weapon swing,
Yeah.
and that has been something that people have utilized in the past with something like Major Domo or anything like Jiraxis. If
Right.
you happen to get a weapon as Gul'dan and then you could swing again as Jiraxis, little things like that. One other thing that they added, I think, is really neat, is two new card backs, Call of the Light and Call of the Void,
Hmm.
and they're listed as acquired from a special promotion.
Yeah. So I'm afraid that these are the new Twitch Prime promotion for Hearthstone.
Oh,
Um,
that makes sense, actually.
Actually, I think Nibble brought it up in the Discord today.
Okay.
Um, I don't like this as a Twitch Prime promotion. Like I'm a Twitch Prime subscriber. Just seeing these card packs would not entice me whatsoever to subscribe to Twitch Prime. I mean, they're nice card backs, but
Okay.
if you're looking for an enticement, like Taronda was an enticement. That's this is something tangible that you get to see and play around the whole time. Your card back, I mean, the only time you really see it is when I mean, it just kind of sits there. I just, for me, card backs are like the least important thing in Hearthstone, and I can't
So
see subscribing to something to get a card back, especially two card backs, because you can only use one of them.
so here's my thing is they did a promotion last month, which I think expires today, where you get a large amount of I think they're golden loot boxes from Overwatch,
Overwatch.
and then this month, which I believe starts tomorrow, if I'm correct,
Hmm.
is supposedly it's rumored to be a Hearthstone promotion. It could
Right.
be these card backs.
I hope
Maybe
it's
it's
something
less of
else
a
with
maybe
it.
it's less. It could be something else with it. Maybe you get a certain number of card packs,
Right.
and the card backs. It's a possibility.
It would be really cool to get some golden card packs where every
Be
card
neat.
in them was guaranteed to be golden. Now, it wouldn't necessarily be a golden legend. You wouldn't be guaranteed a golden legendary or even a golden epic or anything like that. But like, say they gave you 3 classic card packs that were golden, and every card that you opened within that was golden. So you had the chance to get a golden legendary or a golden epic or something like that.
I guess my question to you is: obviously, you've said that this wouldn't entice you to start a Twitch Prime account,
Right.
obviously. But since you have a Twitch Prime account, are you happy to receive this reward?
Honestly, I'm completely unimpressed. I mean, it's a nice card back. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
My problem is I've got so many card backs I can't play all the ones I want to play now.
Yeah, I'm
And
switching all the time.
so it's just kind of one of those things where it's nice to look at while I'm opening packs, but that's about all the card back is for me. So I don't even really like. It's not. And I hate to sound like a Hearthstone elitist, and I hope that I don't come across this way. But like, it's not even an incentive to get rank 20 each month. It's
Hmm.
it's kind of one of those things where they're just not as, once you get so many of them, they're just not as important because you already have your favorites. And it's sort of like power creep in a card game. You have to either keep pushing the limits and making them flashier, sparklier, whatever, to
Yeah.
get there, to make them better than the cards that you already have. And
Yeah.
like, I have some really solid card backs that are already my favorites that they're going to have to really come up with something good in order to get me to switch out of the rotation of 8 that I already have.
Well, I can tell you that I am excited for this mainly because the Call of the Void. I've seen the animation on it. It's probably going to be one of my favorite card backs because purple is my favorite color, and it accents really well with a darker color. And I like this dark purple on the lighter purple with the light shining through. This will probably, if it indeed is for Twitch Prime, which I do have a Twitch Prime account linked to my account. Um, I will probably use this. I'm excited for it. I do like card backs. I change mine all the time. I theme them with my decks. For a while I was just playing the legend card back, but I switched around a lot.
And see, that's one of the things. Like, I talk a lot about why just the card back isn't an enticement to get to legend. I mean, even if I got the legend card back, it may end up in one of my decks every now and again because it just doesn't look as cool as some of these other backs that they've come out with. And I guess that's a good problem to have because those backs are really nice. They've done a really good job designing some of the card backs. And it's just like, it's going to be really hard to unseat some of those. So, okay.
Yeah.
So, release
Tomorrow.
time, tomorrow. 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific, which means that we're going to get it at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Ish.
So, ish. And
you know how that goes. You
yeah.
probably expect the servers to be stable enough and not have any glitches. Probably 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours after the launch. So it'll be 3 o'clock our time on the East Coast, but it'll likely be more like 4 to 5-ish before you can actually stably get on. That's just normal with any launch. Some there's going to be some bugs. There's going to be some instability. And I know people say, "Oh, Blizzard, you've done this so many times. This should never happen." That, from working in IT and handling new site launches and things like that, that's not a realistic goal because it is hard to predict what's going to happen on launch day, especially when you have some people out there that are going to do everything they can to make it bad. They're going to DDoS. They're going to purposely try to clog up your servers and cause issues with your launch just because they like chaos.
Yeah.
And they have something against big companies, even though Blizzard's an indie game company. But
yeah, it's not big. Okay, so pretty much the expectation is hope to get in by, say, 4:30.
Yeah.
And then if you're looking to spend real money on packs tomorrow, I would wait a little bit.
Well, if you're looking to spend real money on packs, you should get them right now. If you're live watching us, if you're listening to this on download, it'll probably be too late because the promotionary 50 packs is going to be done.
Oh no, I'm assuming that if you wanted the pre-order, you've already got the pre-order by now.
Yes.
If you wanted the pre-order and you're listening to this podcast tomorrow, then chances are you probably already missed it.
Yeah.
But you probably didn't want it anyway, because most people that want it already have it by now. I'm just talking about if you want to spend real money on top of your existing pre-order or...
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of tomorrow and pack openings, so let's talk about our gentleman's wager a little bit.
Our gentleman's wager.
So how do you want this to go down? We polled our patrons, and so from last time that I saw, it was well in favor of lemon juice.
Yes, and last time I checked, it was what lemon juice was the clear favorite. I think it had syrup behind it. I don't think honey had any votes whatsoever.
You know what? I'm actually really glad because honey would have taken forever.
Yes.
To get out of that shot glass. That being said, I would have much rather done the syrup than the lemon juice. So it is not the one I wanted, but it is the one I deserve, I suppose.
Now, I have heard people say, "Oh, lemon juice, that's no big deal." I saw a streamer, I believe you saw him as well.
I was the one that turned him on to you.
For every follower on his channel, he would eat a lemon. Now, eating a whole lemon and it wasn't a whole lemon; it was just a slice.
Right. No, he was cutting them in half and putting.
Oh, was he cutting them in half? It's a little bit more than a shot of lemon juice.
Yeah.
But this man literally made himself sick.
Yeah.
Like he was visibly sick on stream.
Yeah.
He was just at one point he cut off his stream. It was like, no more. I don't care how many more followers I'm getting. I'm doing no more lemons. And you could just see his mouth was raw. So straight lemon juice is going to be, depending if I open Avanti's level of legendaries.
I hope you don't.
Now, I did implore people to donate if they want me to open more packs. But as of right now, I'm sitting at the 50 packs, and then
Hmm.
uh, I have, well, I think it's 53 because of three bonus we
Right.
got from promo, and then I have just short of 8,000 gold.
Right. So that's quite a bit more.
So I'm probably gonna save some uh, for some arena runs with the
Right.
new set coming out. But so it will at least be 100 packs, possibly more. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But at least 100 packs.
Just remember what goes around comes around, and
That's right.
this is the first of many gentlemen's wagers to come. So, no, seriously, I do.
I do want to remind you. You kind of forced this one on me.
Hey, no. This is. I'm cool with it, and there were we. And I do want to take this moment to say that Avanti's actually predicted the set release correctly. He was the
Yes.
one that when we first sat down and we predicted the set release dates, Avanti's predicted the 10th. You
Hmm.
predicted the 3rd. I predicted the 24th. So after we ruled out the 3rd, which was on last week's show, and we effectively ruled out the 24th because they said it would be a mid-August launch.
Yeah.
So that pretty much only left 2 weeks. So um, I'll let you choose first. You chose the 10th. I chose the following week on the 17th,
Yeah.
and I'm completely okay with that. And part of me wishes you well, and I hope that out of the 100 packs that you open tomorrow, you actually do get some, because I do feel like of the three of us,
Too.
the last two expansions, you've kind of been shafted a little bit in the legendary department. So I do hope that you open up. Um, you know, I do open. I do hope that you open up at least enough legendaries to make this whole thing worth it. I'm going to feel
Yeah.
really bad if you get to 100 packs and you open 3 legendaries. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not
That's
looking
probably
forward to
what's gonna
taking
happen.
lemon shots, but at
That's
the same
probably
time,
what's gonna
I
happen.
think the pity timer is realistically set at 40, which we know that was tested last expansion. Um,
Yeah.
then I think if you hit the average of 20, which I think is
That's
more
what
along the lines, then
that's what
it
the
looks like
average
I'm
is
gonna.
set in China at
I,
least. So
I'm expecting to take anywhere from 6 to 8 shots, which is quite a bit. But okay,
that'd be a lot. Eight shots at 100 packs. That's if you're doing that, then I'm very happy that day.
yeah. So, and no, to talk with Chad here for just a second. Matt at Arms said both you and I should do lemon juice for legendaries that Avanti's opens, and I'm saying that it would be a cold day in a hot place. I'm not touching that. Nowhere.
No,
He should
he
do
could open
lemon.
half the packs and he'll get twice as many legendaries.
He should do lemon shots for every one he opens that we have to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm probably gonna stream on the CMMO
Right.
Gamers channel.
That is the plan.
Also doing some prologues. Whether we do them after I open my packs or before, it really depends on how the launch goes. If the launch goes in a timely fashion or not. Because I am excited to do the prologues, and there's a lot of people say you want to open your packs first, then do the prologues to increase your chance of getting certain heroes. Others say, very few actually say, open the prologue, do the prologue first, so you're guaranteed a legend, and that's one less legend you'll have to open in your packs. So we'll just have to see. It depends
That
on
legend does not count.
do what.
You don't open it, so that legend does not count.
Yeah, basically, you will not open that legend.
Just putting that out there.
No, that legend doesn't count. No,
Okay.
yeah, I get you.
All right, so
We know you're going to take one shot in the first 10 packs. Though, 'cause
absolutely.
they did confirm that.
Yeah. And we know Pity Timer put out there the minimum that I'm going to do is 3 shots. So
Yes, that should be about.
right.
But
Like I
yeah,
said,
the minimum should be 3 shots.
I'm expecting somewhere between 6 and 8. So I have to actually pick up a shot glass on the way home because I don't own one. So
Oh,
we'll be doing that too. Okay.
you just do a full Dixie cup. You know,
No.
just-
No.
No,
No.
no, you don't. Not gonna.
Okay.
Okay.
So I've got 805. We got a lot of stuff left to go before we move on to the deck, which is going to be a fun deck tonight. I'm actually pretty excited for it. Um,
Yeah.
so let's go ahead and start. We are going to go over a few of the cards tonight. We talked earlier, and since it's just the two of us, we thought we could get through this fairly quickly. And so we're going to discuss the new class hero cards. So
Yes.
we're going to do them in alphabetical order, and then as a side side thing, I want you to rank it. I want you to tell me where you think it falls in rank with the other 9 or the other 8 hero
Ooh.
cards.
Okay.
Okay. So starting with Druid.
All
So with Druid, pull it up here.
It's Malfurion the Pestilent.
Right. It's
And he's
7 casting cost.
Yep, 7 mana.
Go ahead.
And of course, with all the hero cards, you get 5 armor. They're all the same that way. And his ability is choose one, summon 2 poisonous spiders or 2 scarabs with taunt. Now the scarabs are the 1/5 scarabs with taunt, and the spiders are the 1/2 spiders with taunt. And this does double with Fandral. It was actually shown on the live stream. You'll get a total of 4 minions if it doubles. And then his hero power is Plague Lord, which is 2 mana, choose one, +3 attack this turn, or gain 3 armor.
Okay. Where do you think it falls?
It's one of the better ones. So we have
Putting you
9
on the spot here.
classes. I'd probably put it about 3.
Okay.
Three, maybe. I say 3 in power level, but there may be a couple that are like equal at 1 and 2. Yeah, a solid 3.
Okay. I actually have this as my number 1.
Oh wow, okay.
And the reason why is casting cost. At 7,
Okay.
Druid gets to 7 wicked fast.
Yeah.
And you can Fandral turn 4 and you can conceivably cast this and use the hero power the next turn. I think that the casting cost and Druid's ability to ramp and to get to this card faster than any of the others puts it in first place, because I think that it fits the speed of what I anticipate the meta to be at the time. So it was a very hard call, but this narrowly edged out as which one I think is going to be the most powerful as far as like impact on the game. Now, as far as you just look at them in a vacuum, powerful, that's a completely different list. But I look as powerful as impacting the game in a way that it starts to define the meta. I think this mid-range Druid is going to be really, really, really sick.
I think that it has probably the best hero power because it seems to impact the board better than all the other classes. Some of the hero powers are a little lesser because their battle cry is so strong. So I could understand you putting it in a top spot.
All right, so moving on to the Hunter, Deathstalker Rexar. He's a 6 casting cost. Of course, you've got the 5 armor. And the battle cries deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. That's good. And then his hero power then becomes Build a Beast, which is craft a custom zombie beast, which means that you get to pick the traits out of 2 of the beasts in your deck. Correct? No.
You get 2 discover effects. The first one is usually, I believe the first one's always going to be a vanilla beast, or it just has a keyword like taunt or poisonous.
Right.
And then the second one is another discover effect, and it's going to be a beast that has some kind of ability, like it might have a death rattle or it might have some text on it, and then their mana cost and their stats combine.
Right.
So you'll never discover anything 5 mana or less,
Right.
because together they can't cost more than 10.
Okay.
And these aren't just beasts out of your deck; these are just beasts out of the ether. Any
Beast in
beast at
general.
all. Yes. Now, I do believe it follows the Discover rules, which
Mm-hmm.
means it's going to be only uh, Hunter class and neutral beasts. You won't have any beasts from other classes.
All right. So where do you think this falls?
I think it is 8. Um, I almost rated it a 9 as the worst,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there is one that's worse than the Hunter. And they revealed this one first,
Mm-hmm.
and customarily they always reveal the worst first.
Mm-hmm.
The first quest they released for Angoro was the priest uh, death rattle quest, and it pretty much is one of the worst of the quests.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest to really get going, and I agree with you in the
Hmm.
sense that I think this is close to the end. I think this ties for last place for me, and I think
Yeah,
it's because of the. I feel like the casting cost is good at 6. I feel like the battle cry is good, but I feel like taking away the hunter's 2 damage to face hero power is so impactful that you have to match it with something is equally impactful. And I don't think there's enough bang for your buck out of the Build-A-Beast to make it worth giving up the hunter hero power.
exactly.
You know, and that's just me. And if the hunter hero power was any of the other hero powers, that might be different. But losing 2 damage unblockable to face every turn for 2 mana is a pretty big shot for the way Hunter is just built. And I think that's too steep a cost for too little reward. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, I
Yeah.
guess is the way I would put that. Okay, so next in the line is
Frostlich
Frostlich Jaina.
Jaina. Yeah. She is 9 mana, has the battle cry of summon a 3/6 water elemental, and your elementals have lifesteal this game. So any of the elementals you get, including the water elemental that it's summoned,
Hmm.
get lifesteal. And then the hero power becomes 2 mana, deal 1 damage. If a minion is killed, summon a 3/6 water elemental.
Okay, so where are you ranking?
I This is where I've kind of flip flopped. I think she's a solid 4, just under the druid. I wanted to put her above Malfurion, but I think she's right in that middle pack. And I've heard everybody said she's either the best or the worst, but I think she's right in the middle.
Okay, I have her ranked at number 7.
Okay.
If she was, even if she was 8, and you could put her into play
Hmm.
and hero power the same turn, to me that's a tempo swing turn. If you can
Gotcha.
maximize the use of that hero power, and she would rank a little bit higher. But I feel like at 9, I'm going to pick Alex Straza every time. And this may
I
be
guess that
what
makes sense.
finally puts Alex Straza into the Hall of Fame. But
Well,
I just at 9, she's too expensive for what her ability offers.
I think what you're going to see a lot of the dream scenario is Alexstrasza and Medivh both go out of this kind of pseudo uh, mid-rangey burn uh, burn control priest like freeze
Hmm.
not priest mage a freeze mage,
Hmm.
and it go a little bit more towards control, and you're going to see turn 9 Jaina, turn 8 Syndragosa into pinging one of the frozen minions, so you get a legendary in your hand. Like that's the ideal turn. Has a huge swing. You now have lifesteal elementals on the board. You have a big 8/8 threat. Uh, that's obviously the optimal scenario,
Right.
and that probably won't happen every time. But I think that's what puts it somewhere in the middle. I think it can survive without Alexstrasza and Medivh.
I was going to say, when you put Alex Strauss and Medivh up against Frost Lich, Jaina, and Syndergosa, I'm picking Alexstrasza Medivh 9 times out of 10.
And see, I'm going the other direction.
Okay. Well, that's why Avanti still has us around.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so moving along, and I'm going to let you do this one as well. We have Uther of the Ebon Blade, so take it away.
So Uther of the Ebon Blade, I've heard some of the other podcasters call it Eben Blade. I don't know why.
I'm sure Avanti's calls it Eben.
Yeah, probably. He's 9 mana, 5 armor, of course. Battle Cry, equip a 5/3 lifesteal weapon. So if you know Tyrion, Ashbringer is a 5/3 weapon without lifesteal. So basically you're getting an Ashbringer with lifesteal for 9 mana.
Mm-hmm.
And then his hero power becomes the 4 horsemen. Summon a 2/2 horseman, which obviously right there is twice as good as the normal, 1/1 recruit. Doesn't have synergy, but it's a 2/2 body. If you have all 4 horsemen, destroy the enemy hero.
That's pretty awesome.
Now
5 armor and you're going to heal for 15. That alone.
So that's
is
20
good.
points of healing swing right there.
Right.
And then you're summoning a 2/2, and in some old control paladin builds back in the Kraken era, you had Justicar Trueheart because the 2/1/1 bodies was a huge tempo swing.
Right.
And the 1/2/2 is going to be just as good. Obviously, can't be pinged down by other hero powers or run into by other hero powers. I think without the destroy the enemy hero text, this still is an awesome hero card. That is kind of, it's good text to have, but I think if you're getting to that point, you're going to win anyways. So I think it's negligible. I don't think that even matters.
Okay. So where do you put it?
Well, because I'm a paladin player, I have to put it number 1.
Okay.
Because I see the potential. I see the best ways to utilize the right paladin builds for this card. Mm-hmm. And in my hands, it's going to be the best of all of them. It's probably realistically more like 2 or 3, mm-hmm. but I'm going to say number 1.
Okay. So I'm going to rank this number 2, but I'm going to rank it with a disclaimer, and that disclaimer will come up in just a moment.
Okay.
As of right now, in the vacuum of what we see, I think that this is solid number 2, and I actually see this in more of a mid-range control style paladin, because one of the things I feel like mid-range paladin struggles to do is if you can control the combo, then it has a hard time finishing. I think this allows you to finish, and after they've wasted all of their removal on controlling the onslaught, suddenly they don't have enough to get rid of those 2/2s without throwing board resources at it. Mm-hmm. So I think this could be a solid closer for a later like a more control-y style mid-range paladin. So I like this card a lot, and I see this card being played in most paladin decks that we're going to be seeing in this new meta. Alright, so moving on. Next we have Shadow Reaper Anduin. You want to go ahead and read this one as well?
Yeah, he's 8 mana, 5 armor, of course. Battle Cry, destroy all minions with 5 or more attack. And his hero power, which Hearthstone does not seem to have, but I remember it. I think it's Shadow Void, if I'm not mistaken. But it's deal 2 damage, just like Shadow form. I think it's Void form. Mm-hmm. But this hero power resets when you cast a spell, which is really, really neat.
Mm-hmm. And it, once again, provides Priest with something that it's lacked, and that's the ability to close a game.
Yes.
I really like this card. Where do you rank it?
This has been one I've kind of been touch and go on. I think he's a 5. I think he's in the middle, right down there with Jaina. But he's going to be a lot higher in the hands of a really good Priest player. Um, because I think he has the only reason I have him at 5 is he's a high skill cap. You're going to have to build a specific deck around him, specifically to regain those charges of your hero power. It's probably going to be some kind of Raza the Unchained Kazakus deck, which means you're only going to have one ofs in the deck, so it's going to be kind of difficult to pull this off. Obviously, you have a lot of people talking about the perfect scenario where you get 2 Radiant Elementals out and do the constant shadow visions over and over again. That's not realistic,
Nope.
especially with in that same scenario they say, oh, you use Raza. Well, if you're using Raza, you're probably not going to put 2 of those 2 cards anyways. So it's kind of that's why I think it's kind of a middle of the pack.
Okay, I have this one coming in at a solid number 4.
Okay.
Like I said, I think people are looking at the combo more than they're looking at the overall utility of the card.
Mm-hmm.
And that I think this is going to give Priest the ability to help control the board state or to push damage, and they're going to have the choice late game. I also really like Anduin's Battlecry. I know a lot of people are like, why would you want to kill your own minions? Well, Dragonfire Potion's been doing that in non-Dragon Priest decks for several months now, and I think that this is just fine. In fact, I think it's a great I think it's great combo with Dragonfire Potion. So I think Anduin comes in at a solid number 4.
And I honestly don't think you put Anduin in a Dragon Priest style deck that has big minions.
No, absolutely
I think
not.
you focus on maintaining the board, getting chip damage in, and then finishing off with a flurry of 2 damage to the face.
I agree. So, okay. The next one is Valera the Hollow.
Yes.
So, Battlecry gains stealth until next turn, which I think is really, really underrated. I've seen all the predictions, and I think that this Battlecry is absurdly powerful.
Yes.
Her hero power then turns into Death Shadow, which is a passive hero power, which so far we've only seen with bosses in adventures. And the passive hero power is Death Shadow. It says during your turn, add a Shadow Reflection card to your hand. So you get 1 Shadow Reflection card per turn.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadow Reflection says each time you play a card, transform this into a copy of it.
Yes.
So my mind just floods with ways to abuse this hero power. If I can get half the stuff that's going around in my head to work, I think this could be the second best hero card. Narrowly unseating Paladin from the number 2 slot. I still don't think it's going to be as good as the Druid, and that's because it's 9 mana.
Okay.
I think the Druid's ability to ramp into its hero card is what firmly places it in first place. But I think if you let a rogue get to round 9 and play this card, I think you are in a lot of trouble if they're a high skill rogue player. So I think this could be number 2, and I think there will be a deck revolved around this, and I think that it's going to be Miracle-esque, but it's not going to be a traditional Miracle Rogue, and I think you'll finally start to see Rogue break away from Miracle and more towards a true tempo mid-range.
Okay.
So I think Valera has the potential to be very, very powerful. Where do you put it?
I put her at 9. And not because she's not good. I think she has such a high skill cap that your average to even good player is not going to be able to utilize her very well. I think probably 1% of not just the player base, 1% of the rogue player base, the people that call themselves rogue mains, are going to be able to utilize her optimally. I think she has a great battle cry, and I think it's probably one of the better ones. But the utilization of her hero power is going to it's just going to be so difficult, and it really comes down to your draws more than anything else, which is a high RNG factor.
Well, I think it's going to come into planning too. And much like
Mhm.
Shaman, where minion placement is super important, not necessarily on the turn that you play the minion, but for the 2 turns coming afterwards, I think her hero power is going to be one where you have to play consciously
Yes.
and make sure that you order of operations what you want to accomplish.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're almost through. So next is Thrall Deathseer. I'll go ahead and let you take care of this one because I want to cry every time I look at it.
So 5 mana, Thrall Deathseer, 5 armor, of course. Battle cry is transform your minions into random ones that cost 2 mana more.
I like the battle cry.
And then his hero power, which they failed to list here, I don't remember the name of it, but it's uh, transform a minion, a friendly minion, into a random one that costs 1 more, which is basically the Master of Evolution ability.
Right. What do you think?
Um, so I want to like this a lot, but I think he's like solid 6. He's right in the middle, kind of towards the bottom a little bit. Um, Only because the other ones are so good,
Right.
and I think that if you can get a good battle cry turn, which at 5 mana you really can, you can couple it with doppelganger on turn 10, but
Mm-hmm.
you really want to use him earlier than that though.
Right.
So because of that, you're probably going to be using it on a board of 2 and 3 cost minions,
Mm-hmm.
which makes them, yeah, 4 and 5
5 casting
cost
costs.
minion,
Yeah.
which is pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still not Doppelgangster Evolve good.
You're exactly
And
right.
and then his hero power is really lackluster at that point. You get to turn 1 minion into uh, something 1 cost higher. Likely they're going to clear your board. You can't generate a minion, so you'll have to put a minion out and then transform it, which kind of loses the value of the original minion you put out.
Right.
And you have to add 2 mana to that. So
Right.
I don't think he's gonna. I want him to be great, but I don't think he's gonna be very good. I think you're gonna have some good players that play him well, but ultimately I don't think he's gonna be very good.
I think that this could be. I think Thrall could possibly show up in some tournament play as an off meta, maybe even control counter, but it's going to
Okay.
be very limited. I actually have him as dead last, like
Ooh.
right there with Hunter. In fact, I flip flop between whether the Shaman or the Hunter is the worst. Um, so if someone figures out how to use it, it could be broken.
Yeah.
The problem is right now I can't see how to use it in a way that isn't too slow for what I have seen the meta do for the last year. Now, I do think the meta is going to slow down. I'm not convinced that it will slow down enough to make this hero power viable when compared, like you said earlier, when compared to what the other classes are getting. The Shaman hero power, in my opinion, is already a slower hero power and a crapshoot at that. So, add into this that when you evolve that minion with your hero power, it's basically get summoning sickness again. So you got to attack with it first and then evolve it. You got to work that into the play.
Yeah.
Shaman's overloading anyway. There's all kinds of other things going on. It's going to be super complicated to work out. If someone figures out how to do it, I think it can be very powerful. But for right now, it's sort of the same reason you put the rogue
Yeah.
so low. Is I think this is going to be a very high skill cap card, even at 5. I just don't think it's going to see ladder play. I do think somebody like a Kalento, like a Tice, somebody that likes to play a more controlled style of Hearthstone, I think they will figure out how to use it
Mhm.
and probably bring it to a competition, but I think as far as like meta evolving play, I don't see this happening. So for that reason, I put it at 9.
I can say it's definitely not going to fit in the current token evolved shaman.
No, no,
No.
it actually works in exact
Opposite. Yeah.
fashion. Okay, so moving on. Next is Blood Reaver Gul'dan. So take it away.
Blood Reaver Gul'dan is 10 mana. He's the highest cost hero card. 5 armor. Battle cry, summon all friendly demons that died this game.
Okay.
So
I don't like
that
the
is
power.
the
Or,
N'Zoth
I mean,
style.
I don't like the battle cry.
I don't like the battle cry with current meta, but I think a new meta is going to come where Demon Warlock actually exists.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hero power, again, they failed to list it here, is lifesteal, 2 mana for lifesteal, deal 3 damage.
That is so powerful.
Yeah, this is number 2 to me. And he's right up there with Paladin, and I only put Paladin on 1 because I'm a Paladin player. I think Gul'dan, truthfully, is probably the best hero in a non-biased opinion.
Okay. That hero power is sick. It is straight up sick. But at 10 mana, unless you have figured out a way to bring Handlock back, you have to survive long enough to use it. And for that reason, I put this at 6.
Okay.
I think you could find a way to get there. The question is, are you going to be able to figure out how to really take advantage of it, because you've had to spend so much of your resources just hanging around till you get there? And
I think so. I think there's other lifesteal options.
But look at it this way. When you put this up against Jiraxis, and for 2 mana you get to make a 6/6 every turn, and you get the weapon, I would rather play Jiraxis any day of the week.
I mean, the damage-wise, it's the same swing. You're healing for 3 and dealing 3. That's a 6 damage swing, where a 6/6, of course, has the body. I don't know. I think this is going to breed a different style of Warlock, more of a demon style lock. And there are some really good demons out that are coming with this set. And there are some good demons that would be good if they were summoned. This could be in a late game control-y style discard lock that tries to discard the bad demons, so they get resummoned by other things that summon discard minions, and then it's a lot of perfect scenarios. But I think enough of that combo, those different combos in the game, will make his battle cry at least put 3 or 4 minions on the board.
See, I think another card is going to force a different style of Shaman to be played. A better card in Warlock, I said Shaman. A better Warlock card is going to force a different kind of Warlock to be played, and that's another reason why I don't think this is going to see as much play. Okay, so the last hero card we're going to talk about is Scourge Lord Garrosh. Its battle cry is equipped a 4/3 Shadowmourne that also damages adjacent minions.
And he's 8 mana.
That is huge. Yeah, he's 8 mana. I like that battle cry a lot. Out of all the battle cries, this is probably my second favorite. So his hero power, which once again isn't listed on Hearthstone, is you basically
deal 1 damage to all minions.
Yeah, you basically do a whirlwind.
Yeah, for 2 mana.
Right. So being able to whirlwind whenever, which has all kinds of synergy with the current warrior cards, we all know about that. Because of that synergy and because of the battle cry, I put him at 5.
I put him at 7 because I think he has I really like the weapon, but it's only 3 durability, so you're really only getting 3 turns with it. And then the hero power, I think, is going to be good during certain turns with warrior, but most of the time you're not going to want to whirlwind your board because you're not going to want to sacrifice your minions that are at 1 health. So it's going to be a dead hero power, much like uh, priest whenever they're at full health and have no damaged minions. It's going to have times where it's a dead hero power, and I think at these high level hero cards, you can't have a dead hero power. You just can't do it. So for me, he's a 7.
Gotcha. All right, so we have gone over a little bit, so we're gonna drop through these real quick. So, overhyped favorite sleeper. We'll start with overhyped. What is your overhyped card? The card that you think people have talked way too much about, and you're just sick of hearing about it because you don't think it's going to be as good as people think it will.
Skulking Geist. I know people are saying it's going to kill Jade, Jade Druid specifically, and I think people are just going to tech around it. They're going to say, "Oh, Skulking Geist is the tech card of the week. Let's adjust my deck. Oh, Skulking Geist is gone. Let's put all those back in there." Really don't think it's going to be that as impactful as people think. And Skulking Geist, just for clarity, is I think he was a 6 mana 4/6. Yeah, 6 mana 4/6. Battle cry: destroy all 1-cost spells in both hands and decks.
Yeah. Okay. So mine is actually Righteous Protector and Paladin. It's basically a second Argent Squire.
What? No.
I don't care for it. I don't like it. I think it is. I mean, if I'm putting Argent Squire on the board, I'm going to kill something with it. So I don't want something to run into it. So I think the taunt actually makes it a worse Argent Squire. But that's me.
See, I disagree, and
I thought you would.
So Righteous Protector is 1 mana 1/1 taunt and Divine Shield.
Right.
I think that it's going to play into these Divine Shield decks where you're wanting to pop Divine Shields, but because it has taunt, it's going to protect your other Divine Shields. And we're going to go into our favorite cards. My favorite card of the set is actually Righteous Protector.
I know. That's why I kept it a surprise.
I think there are many, many, many things you can do with this. I think Hand Buff Paladin, believe it or not, and I don't own the card and I may be crafting it, the Paladin quest may be good for this, for Buff Paladin. They've been putting in a lot of low-cost buff spells that I think are going to work really well with that style of deck.
Okay. So my favorite card of the set, the card that I think is going to be super impactful, is Defile. Not only do I think it's going to be really impactful in Standard, I think it is going to wreak havoc on Wild. But I think Defile is going to redefine how we play Warlock in this expansion, if Warlock is played at all. I think if a Warlock is played in this expansion, I think Defile is going to be the card that the deck is built around. So, I really like Defile. I think Defile can be super abused in this upcoming meta, and I can't wait to see what people do with it. Alright, so your sleeper card. What's your sleeper card?
My sleeper card is actually Prince Keleseth. He's a 2 mana legendary 2/2 battle cry. If your deck has no 2-cost cards, give all minions in your deck +1/+1. I actually think there are a few different decks in multiple classes that can allow to not run any 2 mana cards and maybe double up on their 1 mana and maybe add a couple 3 mana to offset that. And for that reason, I think that Prince Keleseth is going to impact the meta more than people are expecting.
Alright, so my sleeper card, and I already talked about it, is the Rogue Hero card. I think it's either going to be boom or bust with that card, but I think it's going to be boom. We've already talked about it, so we're already running over, so I won't go into more detail on it, but I think the Rogue class in Knights of the Frozen Throne, I think that it is going to be redefined by that card. So it's not. Does that really fall in sleeper? I don't know. It could totally fall on its face.
I think you're right.
Uh,
Now,
but
just to gloss over it, the Tavern Brawl this week was ShiftCon.
it's a
You got a
repeat.
deck full of Shifter Xeris. It's not, to me, it's not very fun.
Yeah, it's a repeat. If you've not done it before, definitely check it out. It's an RNG fest. If you like RNG, it is going to be right up your alley. All right, so let's go over the deck list. So our deck list is God bless Nibble. Okay, I didn't look at the title earlier. Okay, so this deck was submitted by one of our patrons, Nibble, and this is coming into Knights of the Frozen Throne. The meta is pretty much just stopped. There's no real movement in it. There's no real innovation in it. We've already gone over the meta decks that pretty much controlled this last expansion of Un'Goro, and with the new set launching tomorrow, we thought we would play something that was just fun. So this deck is something that when it goes off, it is incredibly fun to play, and we wanted to bring that to you guys. So go ahead and run down the list real quick, and we'll give it a run.
You have 2 Grimscale Chum, 2 Murloc Tidecaller, 2 Vilefin Inquisitor, 2 Bluegill Warrior, 1 Galaka Crawler, 2 Hydrologist, 2 Rockpool Hunter, 2 Coldlight Seer, 1 Divine Favor, 2 Murloc War Leader, 2 Primal Fin Lookout, 2 Rallying Blade, 1 Small Time Recruits, 2 Stonehill Defenders, and this is where it gets crazy. 2 Holy Wrath, 1 Hemet Jungle Hunter, and 2 Molten Giant. So I tend to win with this deck specifically through aggro. I mean, obviously this is an aggro shell.
Right.
But I have been able to pull off the combo of getting a Holy Wrath in my hand, and there's one time I actually drew into my second Holy Wrath with Hemet in my hand and was like, well, this is guaranteed to happen now.
Mm-hmm.
So I Hemeted. All my deck goes away except for 2 cards. I draw the Molten Giant, and then I use Holy Wrath, and I go Molten, and does 25 damage straight to the face.
Nice.
And I was playing a friendly 80 gold quest game with Nibble, and he pulled this combo off on me. I think it was fairly early in the game. I think it might have been turn 7. Yeah, you don't see it coming.
All right, well, I can't wait to get in and play it. I did not get a chance to play this deck earlier today, so I can't wait to see it in action. So, with that being said, any last thoughts?
I'm just really excited for the set tomorrow. I'm taking off a little bit early from work, but because of the launch time and sometimes stability of servers, you probably won't be able to get in till close to between 3 and 4, or closer to 4 probably, because it launches at 3 Eastern time.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to take my lemon shots. Not really, but we'll do them anyway. So we'll get that set up, and be sure to tune in tomorrow night to watch Zerotio open his packs, and watch me. Yeah, it's
Drink
gonna be
lemon
fun.
juice.
It's gonna be fun. So if you are joining us on the Twitch or YouTube, stay tuned for the live portion of our show. If you're listening to us via the audio podcast, we would like to thank you for joining us. Remember that you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast, and you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers. If you enjoy the show, and you can help support it and improve it by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower, and you can also help us out a great deal by going into iTunes and leaving us a review. We would love 5 stars, but give us what you think we're worth, and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the show. That being said, we'll see you guys next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Alright, so while we are moving over to the video portion, Zerotio, if you'll give us a real quick Viforce comment. And I
Viforce Gaming,
totally lost my train of thought there, so I apologize.
ViForceGaming.com. Go over there and get your quote. Pick out your system. They'll send you a quote if you need some help. They can chat with you. They also have financing available if you need that, or go to HeroPowerHS.com, click on the Viforce link, and get your quote today.
All right, so let's get into this and get started. Let me know when you are ready, though. I see you searching for an opponent.
I'm spinning. I'm spinning. My cancel button went away, so it should be soon.
All right. Jumping into spectate now.
All right. So really, you are doing your best to mulligan for one cost. Because I'm against Warrior, I have Galaka Crawler, Primal Fin, Lookout, and Rallying Blade. I'm going to keep the Galaka Crawler just because possible pirates. I am going to go ahead and dish the other two because I don't have the coin.
Okay.
And I'm going to hope for some of the one cost. Grimscale Chum would be good. Murloc Tidecaller. Molten Giant, that's not really good. If you get a Molten Giant, you're probably going to end up having a 50-50. So I have nothing to buff with the Grimscale Chum, but I want to draw out War Axe shots.
Okay.
So I'm probably just going to put it out.
Okay.
You have any other thoughts?
No.
I don't think we can afford to pass.
I think putting him out is fine. You've got 3 minions in your hand, and I mean, hitting 2 of them is more beneficial than hitting the Molten Giant, but
yeah, and this tells him that I don't have a Murloc on my hand.
Right.
Oh, and this is Quest.
Okay,
so we can't afford to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's Quest, I think we put out the Galaka Crawler.
I agree. Start pressuring early.
I mean, the other thought is just hero power and make him feel like he has to use his Fiery War Axe on the 2-1 because he likely has it.
Right.
He only mulliganed 1 card, which tells me he had good early removal. Acolyte of Pain. Interesting. So he's going to draw more than 1 card off Acolyte of Pain anyways.
Right.
There's not a way to stop it unless we set... Well, I mean, we can have him just draw 2, but we'd have to sacrifice our Grimscale. I think we just put on pressure.
I agree. What do you think, before we do that, are you thinking small-time recruits, or are you thinking Stonehill Defender? Because right now in our hand we got Molten Giant, 2 Stonehill Defenders, and small-time recruits.
I think Stonehill, because if we small-time recruits, we can't put it out anyways.
Right. So I like Stonehill as well. Let's see what we got.
See what we get first before we do anything else.
Okay, so I think that our choices are Wicker Flame, Burn Bristle, Squirming Tentacle, Cyclopean Horror. I think Burn Bristle is a no-brainer.
Face.
And then push face.
Yep. Yep, I think so. We don't have the best hand. Would like to see more early game. And I definitely don't want to see a Molten Giant, but, you know.
Right.
I have actually had games against aggro where I put the Molten Giant out on, like, turn 7 because I'm that low in health and put up other taunts, and it wins me the game.
Right. Okay, so problematic. He plays a Star Creeper. So we
That is
draw
problematic.
into Cold Seer. We have no Murlocs on the board except for the Grimscale Chum.
And it will die.
And it will die regardless. So, what do you think to play?
Well, small time's only going to get us a Vile Fin, a Chum, or a Tidecaller, which none really help us. Probably just put up the Stonehill.
So throw down the second Stonehill.
And see what we can get.
Go ahead. All right. So now,
Ooh, Tareem.
I think Tareem is the play here. I hate to throw back a Tyrion Fordring, but I think
Yeah, I think
Stonekeeper is the
Tareem's the
play.
play, and I don't think we attack at all because it's only a 1/5.
Yeah, but if he does any type of whirlwind effect, the chum goes away. I think we at least run him into the Tar Creeper.
Run the chum in.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get behind the chum. I can get behind sacrificing the chum for that reason. For Ghoul. Now Ghoul is kind of clunky for him. Battle Rage. He's up to 8 cards. We still have 2 turns before we can Sunkeeper. He still can't take down one of our minions.
No. He doesn't have to. That's kind of on us.
Yeah. Do we small time and just maybe load some 1/1s on the 1 mana minions on the board for Tareem next turn?
I like
he's
that.
gonna-
I mean, I hate to give him armor, but that Tar Creeper's got to go.
Yeah. Do we want to clear the Tar Creeper this turn?
I think so. So let's go ahead and Galaka and Stonehill into the Tar Creeper.
Okay. And then small time,
And then I think small time
dump them both.
and dump them both.
And we go ahead and clear the Acolyte, right?
Yeah. So I would... Wait a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
Chum first.
Chum first, and then Inquisitor.
Then Inquisitor. Clear. And he should have trouble clearing, which would put us in a good spot for Tareem next turn.
Right. He's running kind of slow with that quest.
Yeah. He's only at 2. Now, if we Tareem here, we'll have to trade all 3 of our minions and all 3 of his, leaving only a Tareem.
What do you think about Murloc Tidecaller into Bluegill into War Leader?
I mean, I like it. We might have to sacrifice our Stonehill to finish off the Creeper, but we can clear the rest of the minions.
We can... Yeah, okay.
I like that.
Let's do that.
So we go. Do we want to put the 4/5 into the 3/5,
I think so.
or sacrifice the chum?
Sacrifice the chum.
That'll give us a bigger minion on the board.
Yeah.
And then there. And then it doesn't matter which order.
Yeah.
And if this board can survive,
He should brawl here.
yeah, Tareem would be good on this board. But we may be able to save the Tareem. Sleep with the fishes?
Nope.
No?
Didn't have it.
So I don't think we Tareem here. I think we
don't
Cold
either.
Light Seer.
I agree. I think... Oh, man.
Yeah.
The second
The combo's
Giant,
gone.
So the
Combo's
combo's
gone.
gone. Okay, so I think you Cold Light and Burn Bristle.
Cold Light and Burn Bristle, not Hero Power and Cold Light?
Well, with the combo gone, that 10 armor is now a huge problem. We can Cold Light Seer if you want.
Because I was thinking about clearing the Ghoul with the Tide Collar.
I mean, that's fine. I think
Okay.
I think we're in trouble.
I think we're in trouble too, but
I feel like that was 5 wasted damage. But I mean, he's got to
I
he's got to
think
clear it.
He's got to clear it.
So
Because he
second
would have already
duel,
brawled.
execute. He had to waste
Wow,
an execute on that.
that's actually good.
Yeah.
Actually, really good. Now Tareem looks good.
Yeah.
It's gonna clear the 2-3. I mean, we lose some of the body off the Inquisitor, but I think it's worth it. So hero power Tareem.
Yeah, I think so. So Hemet.
Hemet only leaves us a Holy Wrath.
Yeah. Hemet is not an
Or
option.
2 Holy Wraths. Yeah, Hemet is not an option. Well, that's not true. I did win a game where all I had was 2 Holy Wraths and then a bunch of lower cost stuff, and I got him down to 5. No, that didn't. I remember that game because that didn't work out because I drew the Holy Wrath.
Yeah.
No, it was. I got him down to 5. I had 2 Holy Wraths and a Molten, and I was trying to see if I could get the Molten Giant, but then he ran his weapon in to get him down to 5, so it didn't matter. Either one won. So yeah, that's Hemet's a dead card now. The combo in here is just for fun.
Right.
It's truly an aggro deck.
So I feel like if he had Drake, he would have played it.
Yeah, I see in chat Nibble save Tareem for Drake.
I was actually hoping to draw out the Drake. Now he's got the Drake.
And now he definitely has Drake. Do we just Holy Wrath the 4/6?
Sure. Let's see what we get.
I mean, if we get a 3 cost, we can just trade in one of the minions.
Yeah.
There we go. Actually, we can use the Rallying Blade.
Go for it.
And see, now if he uses Drake, it's not going to kill the minions. Just Drake doesn't really impact the board enough for him. Okay. Ooh. That's no bueno.
No. Second Rallying Blade.
That'll be good with
Wicker Flame.
Bristle. So do we clear the Bloodhoof first?
I think we have to clear the Bloodhoof. So Rallying Blade in first and send in the little 3/3.
Are we really worried about taking the 5 damage?
I think so.
Because that actually gets us closer to putting a Molten Giant out.
Yeah, but he's 1 card away from getting Sulfurous. Whatever you think. You're the Paladin player. I will
I'm going to
defer
pull
to
an
your...
audible here. I think we're okay taking the damage right now.
Okay.
And if we put these 2 minions into the Armor Smith, he gets armor, but he can't primordial. Well, if he primordial Drakes, it kills his Armor Smith.
Okay. And then Wicker Flame into Rallying Blade?
I'm going to hold off because he's going to have Primordial Drake. I think we Wicker Flame next turn.
I think... Okay, so here's the Primordial Drake. Okay.
Huh? That finishes this quest, but he can't do it this turn. So now we Wicker Flame into Rallying Blade.
Okay.
And I don't see any reason not to put our face and Tareem into it. Do you?
Go ahead. Notice the new icon at the bottom of Wicker Flame.
Yep.
Which is the purple heart with the lightning bolt through the center, which is the new symbol for life steal.
It's pretty cool. I like that it has a visual symbol on the card. Okay, slam. Does he use sulfurous?
I would.
Probably does. Well, you see him what he wants. If he wants to armor before he sulfurouses. Nope.
Now, if I would Sulfurous, clear the 1/1 with my 4/2 and hit us in the face for 8.
Yep. So it puts us at 12. Is he wanting us to concede? No, thank you. If we hit it, we'll be at 8. Those are 3. Those will be 3 mana Molten Giants. He still hasn't used brawls.
Yep.
So,
But I mean, it doesn't matter, right?
not really, but I'm just going to go through the motions.
I was gonna say no. It doesn't matter if we, like, whether we clear his creature
We
off,
couldn't
and
clear
whether
them.
he brawls or not. It's still
Yeah,
relatively the same odds.
yeah. Just fill up the board as best as we can.
Put him on
Vile
having it.
Fin. Yeah. See if he can. He could use his face to clear 1. I mean, the brawl will pull a 50-50, depending what survives. Oh, Dirty Hemet, yes!
Nice.
Hey, we got Hemet on the board.
But I mean, that pretty much says he has brawl in hand.
Well, oh, did he top deck it? He did top deck it. At least that's the one he used, is the one that he just drew.
Yeah. You don't dirty rat on turn 10 if you don't have a brawl to clean it up.
And
That
either
should
way,
do it.
we're done. Oh, gave us a turn. We can put 3 minions on the board.
Go for it.
Put 4 minions on the board.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of a moot point, but you know.
No, it definitely makes it harder for him to.
I mean,
Yeah.
he can clear 1 with his face.
Yeah, it still gives a 1 in 4 unless he's got the other brawl, which I'm pretty sure that's what that card is.
If he has the other brawl, only the Vile Fin Inquisitor surviving.
Nope, there's a Drake.
Yeah, but we can't get through the Drake.
Sleep with the fishes.
Sleep with the fishes. That'll do it. That'll do it. Well played. This is a fun deck. What? Oh, wait, he didn't have the mana. We'll go ahead and concede. I'm not going to. Yeah. I thought he was BMing us, but he just didn't have the mana.
Yep. Okay.
All right, one more.
Yep.
And I think we'll just do one more, even if we win, just because it is getting late, and we do have set tomorrow. So we want to be fully rested tonight for tomorrow.
It's easy for you to say. You just have to open packs.
You just have to drink a bunch of lemon juice.
Yeah.
So we have the coin.
Yep. So we have Stonehill Defender, Bluegill Warrior, Murloc War Leader, and Primal Fin Lookout.
I like keeping the Murlocs.
I actually like keeping it all.
All of it?
Yep. I like having the Stonehill Defender in hand as an option.
I can dig it. I mean, whether we coin out Bluegill will totally depend on what we draw. Hopefully we draw a 1-cost Murloc. Oh, we're not going to coin out Bluegill now. Just pass.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably coin out the Stonehill next turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this that Miracle? This is Miracle, isn't it?
No, this is. What? My aggro runs the Blood Lasher.
Oh, gotcha. Do we still coin out Stonehill?
I think so.
Hopefully we can get Burn Bristle. Oh. Well, the Curator will get us a Murloc.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
we
we
last that
want him
long.
to have to burn through his direct damage.
Geomancer?
I think Geomancer.
I
That's
mean,
me
that's an
though.
early taunt. I mean, it'll be a good. It will be an early taunt. Wow, he is loading it up.
Yeah.
He's going to use his minions too. Didn't use any of his. Ooh,
There you go. I'd
grab
go
it.
ahead and Galacta that while you can.
Yep, but next turn we can Hydrologist into Geomancer
Yep.
after he uses. He'll probably run both these minions into it.
But
He's saving up the spells for something.
Yeah.
What? Oh, ours a protector.
That's cheating.
Yeah, it's all right. Divine Shield's cheating. It's okay. The Geomancer's not as good here now, but it's still gonna absorb a couple shots.
Yeah,
So Hydrologist first.
I think so. And then depending on what we get,
Probably Kodo.
what do we want to Kodo?
That's true. Redemption is gonna give us better board presence. Would have liked to see Noble Sacrifice.
I would have too. You can make a case for eye for an eye.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Not this early in the game when we haven't even done any damage to him.
I wasn't saying cast it, but redemption, I guess.
Yeah, I think Redemption helps us more now. Now, do we Geomancer or do we Chum and Redemption? That challenges the board better
Yeah, I think so.
because
think
they're
he's
two
still-
attack minions.
He's still gonna go face.
I don't know. I think he'll clear. He's been clearing.
No, he cleared because he had to.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, the Galactic Crawler didn't have to. So it'll come back, much to his chagrin. Which now, if he has to put both minions into it, yep,
He's gonna
and he
clear.
does. That was the play.
Interesting.
He's saving those spells though. That's not good. So Bluegill into Murloc War Leader.
Yep. Force him to start using some of those spells.
That's what I'm thinking. We got to get that baited out.
Yeah. If we don't start baiting out spells, we're dead.
Yeah, because he's gonna have some kind of crazy turn, or it's probably more of like an Edwin or questing adventurer turn than a prep. I think we're gonna see probably an Edwin.
Probably.
Prep into fan. Hesitating.
Here it says he's got one more razor pedal.
Yeah. He's gonna kill it with his face.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. Interesting.
Try to just. There's Van Cleef. Okay. All right. So, I think we're gonna Geomancer this turn because we need a taunt.
Yep.
But I think we're also gonna Primal Fin Lookout, right?
Yeah, so let's problem fin first.
Yeah. Hydrologist. That could get
Yeah.
us that eye for an eye we might need to win the game now that we have Edwin out.
Yep.
I think we Geomancer though, right?
Yeah, still Geomancer.
Face.
Yep.
We just gotta go face. If we could get 8 more damage on him and then get an eye for an eye, Surely
Vine
Oh
Cleaver.
my gosh! Now he goes face.
Of course he does.
Fan of knives. Okay. What is he doing? Hallucinate. Okay.
Yeah.
He feels he doesn't need all those cards now. He can dump them all.
Well, he doesn't have Sherazin.
Ah, yeah. That's fair. So start with hydrologist.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways he can play around,
Yeah.
but
None of this is good.
Repentance might be good.
Well, he's already done his big turn. I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, it'd be nice to have a 5/1 Sherazin if he does end up playing it.
I mean, that's true. I guess
Or-
repentance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we none of those choices were great. So,
No, I'm just trying to figure out a way we don't die.
I don't know. Let's go ahead
So-
and
Rock pull the lookout.
yeah.
Clear 1/1.
Why
So
would
we
you?
have to.
Yeah, because he's gonna.
He's dead on board. We're dead on
We're
board.
dead on board with Cold Blood. It's got to go.
So repentance.
That would. Oh, I was gonna say I would probably Rallying Blade and clear the other 1/1.
Hell, yeah. I mean that. I guess that.
But that's still
don't-
we. I mean, we're dead
Test the
with one
secret.
extra damage anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty ingenious deck he's got there. It just kind of landed for him.
That actually
Oh, that's something.
looks like he just didn't get the miracle draw he wanted.
Yeah.
Actually looks.
This is Miracle Rogue.
Yeah.
I don't think we even have any draws. Any draws. Any. Not pants. I mean. Did he give us an out?
No.
No.
Divine favor.
I just. I was hoping for a. That wouldn't have helped us. Oh well.
No, it would have been fun to see.
We'll
him.
throw down the Molten Giant. They will play and concede.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, it was a fun
This-
deck, and I mean, I'm going to build it and play it.
And then just playing around with it, I played 20 games and I was literally 10 and 10. Like split right down the middle. So it was 50%. It was fun. It's definitely not a viable deck. Of course, we're playing this deck because we're pretty sure everybody's going to make new decks with the new set that comes out tomorrow. So whatever we play today is not something you will likely want to make and put on the ladder anyways.
Tomorrow, the meta gets turned on its head.
Yep. So expect to see some new variety of decks next week when we have a week to play with the new set. It's kind of the benefit of having our show on a Wednesday. We'll have a good solid 6 days of playing with the new set before we have to do the next show.
Yep. All right. So, last thoughts on that.
That was fun. It's a fun deck, and it's hard to pull the combo off, but when you do, it's amazing. And when it's pulled off against you, it's even more fun, as Nibble did it to me. So thank you, Nibble, for such a creative deck this week.
Good deal. All right. So if you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so, and give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted for when we go live. You can also find out more about what we're doing and when we're doing it on Twitter. And you can get all of that information from heropowerhs.com. For more information or details about our patron, you can check us out at patreon.com/heropower. And that'll pretty much do it. It has been fun getting to guest host, I guess, for the moving Avantis. And I don't know, I thought we did pretty good for a two-man. You realize this is our first two-man show in 93 episodes.
It is true, and a message out to, and I want to tell all of our viewers, listeners, and patrons, thank you for all the support. And to Avantis, you got to move it, move it.
Oh my gosh. All right. And on that note, we will end this week's show, guys. Good luck in your pack openings tomorrow. If you are in our Discord, make sure that you post any great packs that you open. And then if you happen to stream your video on Twitch, let us know when it comes up. And guys, good luck tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side of Knights of the Frozen Throne.
You got to move it, move it. You got to move it, move it. You got to move it, move it. You can stop it. Just oh, it's funny.